Hello, I'm John the Gamer Boy, and I welcome you to the first Mascot review episode on this channel. Today, we will be covering one of my favorite mascots, the face of the University of North Carolina Chapel Hill, a muscular ram that represents the Carolina Tar Heels. If you haven't guessed by now, we will be reviewing Rameses, not RJ, the Dorset Ram mascot of UNC Chapel Hill since 1986. For our introduction, I will go over the mascot and the school's history. UNC Chapel Hill was established on December 11, 1789, as the first public university chartered under the U.S. Constitution. It lasted nearly a century before being closed due to a decline in student numbers after the Civil War in 1870, reopening 5 years later. Initially separated between a men and women's college, the university was fully integrated in 1955 and was desegregated in 1964. Currently, UNC is home to more than 90,000 undergraduate students alone and offers over 70 courses of study. Rameses has been the mascot of UNC in live animal form since 1924, in which a ram takes the throne of Rameses, which is passed on. However, we are not talking about that Rameses. We are talking about the costume Rameses that has been entertaining fans in UNC since 1988. This is where we start. When Rameses first pulled onto the court in 1988, the costume was not the greatest. According to UNC's article on Rameses' debut, the costume's horns were made using clay, and as seen in pictures, the costume had a rather friendly face. It does look like they also used a fur body with a UNC basketball jersey on top. I and several others can see the problem with this costume. It looks like a friendly goat, not even a Dorset ram. There isn't too much information on this costume, and only a few black and white photos, so we don't know the suit's color palette. We do know Rameses' debut performer was Eric Chilton, a broadcast journalism student at UNC Chapel Hill. Absolute Chad. However, the costume is not a Chad suit, so I rate the 1988 Rameses suit a 4 out of 10. If you thought the first suit was bad, things just got worse. The 1989 Rameses debuted in January 1989 after many students on campus had negative reviews on the original Rameses costume, for good reason. This new Rameses suit looked more aggressive. However, my issue with it is that it looks kinda weird. Like that face, in the nicest way possible, it looks like a clam. And those eyes. This is the only photo I could find of this version of Rameses. I rate this a 2 out of 10. Sometime in the early 90s, there was also this version of Rameses. This one is just as bad as the last. The horns are really thin and droopy. They kinda remind me of macaroni. The face itself, the eyes are really strange looking, and the eyebrows are super thick. It's a very wonky looking suit. I don't really like either of these, so I both rate them 2 out of 10. Finally, in the late 90s, the Rameses we all enjoy today debuted. He hasn't changed since then other than his shoes and outfit, maybe even the shape of his mask, but there's nothing to fix about this Rameses. This Rameses has a very great mix between adorable and aggressive. The horns are actually good for once, and the face is not terrifying. I would rate this an honest 10 out of 10. So out of the 4 costumes, the highest rated is the late 90s Rameses, and the lowest is a tie between the 1989 and early 90s Rameses. I know this review is rather short and had many delays in its release. I would have liked to make it longer, but I do not have any subscription to newspaper archives, and so I was limited in my resources. Hopefully I will be able to remake this video when I know more of what I'm doing. But thank you so much for watching the first mascot review on this channel.